Looking into visiting Washington, D.C.? You'll find no lack of fascinating places brimming with history, art, and science, and of course, government. Here are some you won't want to miss. You'll want to make time for the Lincoln Memorial. Built in 1922, this building has drawn in millions of people to view Abraham Lincoln's statue and to read some of his most famous addresses etched in stone. It was on the steps of this building that Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his "I Have a Dream" speech in 1963. And speaking of MLK Jr., you don't have to go far to see his memorial. Its design is based on words from Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, a symbolic stone of hope taken from a mountain of despair. There you can read famous quotations of this incredible man and ponder his far-reaching influence. A little further around the tidal basin will bring you to the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial. Here you can step into 4 different rooms that represent our 32nd president's 4 terms in office. Check out the bronze sculptures, 21 famous quotes, and water features that symbolize the economy of the era, a dam building project, the end of World War II, and a still pool indicating Roosevelt's death. Further around the tidal basin, along the Potomac Park, you'll find the Jefferson Memorial. It was FDR who sponsored the building of this memorial to honor the main author of the Declaration of Independence. The central bronze statue of Thomas Jefferson stands an imposing 19 feet tall and can be seen through the marble pillars as you approach. Excerpts of the Declaration of Independence and of the 1777 Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom are etched on the interior walls. No trip to D.C. is complete without spending a bit of time at the Washington Monument, located at the center of our country's capital. As fitting tribute to George Washington, our country's first president, this 555-foot-tall obelisk pierces the sky. From here, it isn't far to the White House. Although Washington never lived in it, he did choose the site. Today, it boasts 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, and 28 fireplaces. It offers plenty of space to entertain dignitaries and famous guests from around the world. Not far from the White House is the Ronald Reagan Building and International Trade Center. Opened in 1998, it features some impressive architecture, a beautiful atrium, and interesting sculptures. It hosts hundreds of conferences, art exhibits, and educational displays, and many other events every year. Heading toward the Capitol building will take you past the National Mall, home to some excellent museums, such as the African American History and Culture Museum, the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, the Smithsonian Institution building, nicknamed the Castle, and the National Gallery of Art, among others. You could spend a lot of time here. At the end of the National Mall, you'll come to the U.S. Capitol building, home to the United States Congress, the Senate, as well as the House of Representatives. This is where legislation happens, or doesn't, per your elected representatives. Originally completed in 1800, the building alone covers a ground area of 4 acres and boasts about 540 rooms. Most impressive is its rotunda and dome, which culminates in a painting at the very top, the apotheosis of Washington. Just a little beyond the U.S. Capitol building, you can find the Supreme Court and the Library of Congress. The Supreme Court was completed in 1935. Its statues represent the ideals of justice, as does the phrase carved into the building's face, "Equal justice under law." The Library of Congress is another fantastic building to visit. Various tours give the building's history and elaborate on the art and architecture throughout. The library is both vast and beautiful. There's more to see and do in Washington, D.C. than you probably have time for in one visit. But don't let that stop you from enjoying what you can. The seat of our government is full of history, art, and architecture.